The thing that I've always asked myself is, where does the leverage come from? You know, when I was first in sales, and I would hit my numbers, and I'd be so proud of myself, and then 2 weeks later, I'd sit down with my sales manager, and what would happen? Bodine, let's go up another 15 or 20% here now, right? And you know, the thing is that we are always raising the bar on ourselves, and the marketplace is asking us to do so. We're raising the bar on ourselves not only in terms of our volume and our numbers and establishing new relationships and doing that outreach to get more market share, but we're raising the bar on ourselves all the time in terms of the quality of our service and our service excellence, all right, in developing customer loyalty. Because every time that you take care of a customer in a new and a powerful way, what happens in their brain? That becomes their par. That's the new standard for you to just hit satisfaction. And then you got to go above that to really get to customer loyalty. So today we're going to answer the question of, where does that leverage come from? Now, in order to facilitate our initial emotional bonding and to provide for you now a direct sensory experience of the extraordinary capabilities of the human hand and the human system, I should like to begin by conducting an exercise in sharing. Good to see you right here in the front, cowboy. And what's your name?
It's Jeff Miller.
Jeff, how long have you been a member of the tribe?
I've been a member of the tribe for 10 years.
10 years, man. So you know where some of the bodies are buried then, Jeff. Very good. All right.
Thank you.
And did you bring your wallet?
I did.
I'd like you to take it out, open it up, and say, Bodine, help yourself. I need a $20 bill. I need a $20 bill, and we'll double your. Look at the wad this guy's got. Man, Jeff is going to have a beautiful internal, spiritual, emotional experience, because this is what happens when we share our equity with our friends and our associates. And we're going to facilitate this for Jeff by actually sharing his equity with the other members of the gathering. Here's a little for you, and I'd like you to hold on to a little as well. Now, Jeff, be honest, tell the truth. This feels good on the inside, doesn't it?
It does.
Kind of a warm, kind of a glowing, kind of a new age, kind of a 21st century thing happening for Jeff. Trust me, buddy, I'm a professional at this. Now, don't take your eyes off the 4 pieces of just $20 bill, for they will never leave your sight, not even for a moment, not even for the fraction of a second. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold them down into half, and I'll fold them down into fourths. They never leave your sight. I give them a little pinch, and I give them a little twist. And I want to show you that in this age of advanced information and technology, although science and logic can give us what it is that we need, it's only magic that can truly give us what it is that we want. Hoppa! And, oh, yes, yes, yes. Jeff is feeling much better about our interaction. Come to Papa, says Jeff, as a matter of fact. And this one's for you, and to give you a direct bottom line experience of what happens when we gather together like this, that's for you as well. Let's have a round of applause for my friend. Oh, man. How many ready? That's right. That's right. That's right. How many are ready to give me a $100 bill right now? Now, let's think about it. Let's just give this some thought. If I could really do it, would I be up here busting my butt? No, I'd be home going 1, 2, 3. By a show of hands, how many in this room think they're pretty darn good at what they do? That would be every hand. That would be every hand. Okay, all right. Because we wouldn't even be in this room if we weren't pretty darn good at what we do. Now, listen real carefully before you respond to this next one, okay? And again, by a show of hands, and listen carefully. By a show of hands, how many in this room think they've already reached 100% of their full potential in this life? See, there you have it. Not a single hand. And there you have the premise for our discussion. And on some level, the premise for our gathering. And that is that there's more in us and we all know it. There's more in us and we all know it. And if ever there was a time to, get what's really in us out into the physical expression and experience of our lives, our work, that time is now. The good news is, men and women of great scientific genius have been studying on this very issue. I have read their reports and I am reporting in. I have the great pleasure to share with you a model of human achievement that is going to answer the question of, where does the leverage come from? And we're going to start out, it's actually a 4-part model, and I've broken it down to 3 principles and 1 major primary achievement secret that comes from awareness from the new studies. Last November, The thing is, in fact, I've lost control of this section of the room. I'll see if I can't get it back later on. So, last November, I'm invited to be the after-dinner keynote speaker at the annual conference gathering of the Plumbing, Heating, Cooling Contractors of California, a party animal group if ever there was one. You'd have fit right in, Jeff. So, and I'm sitting at the round top having a little dinner prior to go up to give a little presentation on the service leadership model. And plumbing, heating, cooling contractor guys, and this is word for word how it went. He nudges me on the shoulder. He says, "So you're a motivational speaker?" I said, "Well, I don't really use the M word, and I don't think of myself in those terms. I think of myself as a behavioral scientist with a focus on the principles of human achievement and life fulfillment." And he said, "Well, that's all well and good, but do you know a thing about motivation?" And I said, "Well, you know, I've been actively and academically studying for 31 years. I've been sharing from the platform for 15 years. I'm getting great results in my own life with the information I've organized, and so are my client groups. I know a thing or two." He said, "We got a great motivational system down where we work." I said, "What's that?" He said, "It's a big sign on the wall in the employee lounge that says, 'One mistake and you're out of here.'" That's your system. Works real good, he said. But that's that old model. That's that old model. That's that model for years where we attempted to motivate ourselves and each other with coercion and a subtext of fear, and that model never worked. And the new awareness, the new studies allow us to come to another understanding, and that is that all of what we used to call motivation, we've misled ourselves by thinking of all of this as a thing to be pursued in and of itself. But the new awareness allows us to come to an understanding that it's not a thing in and of itself. It's a byproduct of another pursuit. And that pursuit is human creativity. Passion, energy, enthusiasm, creativity, all right, courage, even love. And we're going to talk about love today because we're going to talk about opening our hearts in a larger way to our life and our work. But all of that is a byproduct of the human creative process. What has happened in the entire study of human achievement is that we've shifted away from what we used to call motivation, and we're studying how do humans create the results that they truly want, all right? This is generative human creativity, not how do we do the things we're currently doing kind of more creatively, but how do we create results for ourselves that don't currently exist. The real questions are the ones that activate the human creative process on a really deep level, and they are this. This is part one of a four-part model I'd like to share with you today, and that's what is it in your heart that you truly want to create, and how good can you stand it? This is what we call desired reality. It's one part of a four-part structure. Now, if we want to activate the human resource and the inner resource of the team, of the group, we use the same question. We just change the pronouns. What is it that we, as a group, truly want to create, and how good can we stand it? This is what we call desired reality. And if you ever get unclear in this world and you're seeking clarity, all you ever have to do is check in with that classic American philosopher, Yogi Berra, who once told us so wisely, if you don't know where you're going, you might end up someplace else, ladies and gentlemen.